Hey guys, still in a bit of a fight here. 35 days in bed. It's just really driving me a little bit crazy. Spent the 12th of my year in bed already. So I'm hoping I'm up and about by the end of the month. It's my birthday. But while I'm laid in bed, I'm going to talk about something that has come to the forefront, the importance of it. And it is hugely important. And it's the taking no thought teaching which exists in every single religious, spiritual, and at this point scientific way of thinking as well. You have to take no thought if you're going to be able to cope and survive with things. And what I mean by that is, when I'm very sick and I'm in pain, if I grab hold of what's in pain with my thoughts, I'm going to have a bad day. So if I have a lot of muscle cramp and tension in my muscles and burning, which I get a lot, if I lock my mind onto it, yes, it's happening, that's an experience. But when I put my mind onto that and start assigning my thoughts to that event that's going on as well, you begin to amplify the problem. It's likewise if you've got a sore throat. You can recognize it, do something about it, and then move on from it. And what I mean with all of this is, when my mind has segmented my symptoms, then it needs to do so I can treat them and also share them with others so they know how I'm feeling. But I have to leave the state of segmenting each symptom. And you have to, in every aspect of life, even if it's your sickness, you have to stop that at some point. And the reason for that is that when your mind is moving from, in this instance, this example I'm giving, muscle pain here, muscle pain there, sore throat here, headache here, fatigue here, woe's me, mental attitude here. When your mind is moving like that, it's costing you a lot of energy, and it's also costing you a lot of peace. Now, if you don't grab onto things and you accept the experience, things become much more relaxed inside your anatomy, inside your hormonal body, etc. as well. Energetically, you just become more relaxed. And the reason for that is you're no longer grabbing at everything. Now, when you grab at things, you enter a different reality, because the mind can only grab because the mind works in a straight line. The mind is linear. The collective body is anything but linear. Right now I can hear birds singing, I can feel the breeze, I can hear the trees rustling, I'm talking to you, I can feel the warm tiled floor on my feet. I have all of this happening instantaneously right here, right now. Now, when my mind tries to grab those things, instead of being here and having that experience happen to me, then I slowly begin to walk away from that experience. So, as I sit here now, if my mind decides to grab onto the birds singing, grab onto the trees rustling, then as I do that, I block out other things that are happening. I'm giving less attention to them. And the whole beauty of this is when you sit and you truly listen. Truly listening is very relaxed state. It's not edge of your seat straining it. It's a very relaxed state of being. And if you're going to listen to your body when you're sick, then you get to that point of relaxation because you're not grabbing. And when you're not grabbing linearly at something which is completely non-linear, your sickness, for example, if your body is sick, is a completely non-linear experience. You don't have a list of things happening to you one after the other. They're all happening at once. You don't have a mind that can only acknowledge that these things are happening one at a time. Your mind can acknowledge that you have pains in all different areas of your body, but it can't communicate them except in a state of one at a time. And thus, if you're sick and you're identifying these problems, then to ensure that your mind doesn't become sick as well, you must let go of them all and accept them as what is happening. If you have fatigue, embrace the fatigue. Accept that the fatigue is happening, and you'll get a deeper rest whilst it's going on. Fight it, and you'll create turmoil in your hormonal body as well, which is where a lot of healing is going to come from. If you have muscle pain, try to do something to relieve the pain, but accept it. I'm using very personal examples here of things that I'm having to learn through what I've learned with meditation and my perspective and view of how life works and how a human best functions in life. And I'm seeing it reflect into what I'm doing. And I can't always do it, but do as I say, not as I do, is often a good case of point here. It's not always easy to do what you know is the right thing. So it's not always easy when I'm sick and I'm in pain to ensure my mind lets go of that. But it is possible to make sure it's part of your toolbox in your anatomy. And thus, the important thing for me is not to enter the linear illusion of the sickness I have and the life that I live as well, because communication is linear, but the mind experiences things in a non-linear way. And thus, if we want to progress well with our sickness, we need to be in our most natural state, and the natural state is non-linear. It's the reception of the world around us, reception of the different aspects of the senses, and the intuitive knowledge which comes from places beyond what we can identify with physical science, such as the emotional body, etc. And we accept them in our natural state, which is a state of allowing constantly, because that's the most natural state you've been in. When you were a baby, there was undoubtedly a state where you didn't know self and other, and you couldn't define yourself from the world, so you were just a continuance of the world out there without an identity. That's your natural state. You need your identity to live through life, but you need to enter that natural state, especially in times of turmoil, if you're going to be able to return your body to its most at peace state of functioning hormonally, in the nervous, autonomic nervous system, respiratory. Everything comes from the most natural state of being, which is a state of connected expression of the continuance of the present moment, because that is what you were as a baby before you formed an identity. That was what you were. You were almost just a happening. You know, you were just a happening. There was no identity for you. You were just as a tree growing, just as a plant growing. You were there, no identity, no idea what self and other was, just everything happening to you without judgment. And this is your natural state. And when I grab my sickness linearly, I feel myself getting so uncomfortable. But when I let my sickness be observed in its natural state, then I come to a much more peaceful and accepting state of where I am. And at the same time, it allows me to be more proactive in addressing and tackling what I'm going through. And I think that reflects on everything in my life. I treat it in the same way, but I'm just giving an example with my sickness of how it's working. So, mindfulness ultimately. But being mindful to let go of being mindful, because you don't want to be stuck in a linear processing system of the communicative mind. Communicative. Anyway, a hard word to say for a moment. God bless, guys. I love you all. Bye. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, as it really helps us to grow the channel and with it help more children here in Tanzania. Also, don't forget you can support our work by sharing with children in crisis here, be it sharing for a particular need or even sharing one-on-one support for education, housing, food and medical care. It can be done for as little as the cost of a cup of coffee a week back in the West after all. Just visit www.sharetanzania.co.uk to find out more. Lastly, remember you can also support us via Patreon, www.patreon.com/featherstail, and help keep us here in Tanzania to continue our work. The links for the website and for the Patreon are in the description box of this video. Love and light, guys. See you soon.